So how about we start with these pitches, Fred, because this is where I've been crap.
Yeah, so we would call this maybe like a distance wedge, about 65 to 70 yards. And from what I've seen when we've been playing, you have a little hard time controlling the launch angle.
Yeah, I don't know where it's going to go.
Exactly,
Yeah.
It's a little bit too high on average, would you say,
I'd
right?
say so, yeah.
So the best players in the world are really good at controlling the launch.
Okay.
So you're a good player, so the ball is gonna come out with the same speed every time. So we got to be able to control the launch. I've seen a lot of good coaches explain it this way. So if you imagine that the shaft is a cannon that shoots out a cannonball, if the cannonball comes out with the same speed every time, the launch angle would dictate where the ball lands, right?
Okay.
If the launch angle is too high, the ball is going to launch too high and land short. If it's too low, it's going to land further up, right? So it's very, very crucial to be able to control exactly the angle that the ball launches out of.
Okay.
So the best players in the world, we've been testing a bunch of them. I was lucky to spend a couple of days with Luke Donald. Him and his coach has done a fantastic job. Obviously, Luke's pretty good with wedges.
He's not
right?
bad with his wedges.
Yeah, most tour pros launch the ball just under 30 degrees.
Okay.
Okay, just by using my eyes, I've seen that you're a little bit higher than that. So why don't we hit a couple and we see what the data says, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So we go to the 65.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
the first flag to the
Yeah,
left
yeah.
there would be perfect.
Because certainly what I really struggle with is because I don't like taking a big divot.
Yeah.
But for me, that feels like the only way I can actually hit the ball a little bit lower.
Okay.
Like I really struggle with that. And like you've seen, the actual launch, obviously chunking quite a few wedges over the last few days as well. So I'm going to be interested to see what you can help me.
That's a typical shot I've seen you hit, right?
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
like
So
still a little
these-
bit short, but let's just look at the data here, right? So the launch angle is all the way up to 40 degrees.
Yeah.
Okay, so we need to get about at least 10 degrees, and you see that the spin is very, very low.
Yeah.
So for this type of shot, the data you want to see, it's going to be a launch angle maybe at 27 and a spin that's actually all the way up to 10,000.
Yeah.
Right, so you're less than half.
Yeah.
So that was
I
obviously...
spin my driver more.
Yeah, you do, probably. That was obviously not a great strike, right? But that's kind of what we're seeing.
That's the whole point.
Yeah.
Like the striking is just so inconsistent. And like I say, it's so frustrating actually hitting it well off the tee, getting
Yeah.
near the green and being like, actually, I'm not entirely sure what I'm doing here.
And it makes all the sense, and I can explain why, right? So
Yeah.
with the driver, we want to get rid of any type of lean, right? We want to be pretty neutral at impact so we can hit up and launch the ball up, right? But with the driver, we kind of lean back. The low point effectively is behind the ball.
Yeah.
With a wedge, if you hit it behind the ball, you hit that shot, kind of a little bit chunky floaters,
Sure,
right?
Sure, everyone knows that feeling.
Yeah, exactly. So what I see from a lot of wedges, they know, and a lot of amateurs, they want to hit down on the ball to get it to go lower, right?
Yep.
The issue is that you're going to tend to get a little bit too steep, and that's going to cause you to hit it above the CG of the club.
Yep.
Kind of like you hit it high on the driver where the ball is launched without spin, right?
Yep.
So the best players in the world, they're able to control so that they hit it much lower under the CG, so lower maybe the third groove of the club.
Yeah, and this is why you see a lot of the best players when they launch a wedge very low with lots of spin, it's because they're launching it from around here.
Yeah, so imagine you hit a driver low on the hill. It
Yeah.
comes out low with
Yeah.
spin. That's effectively what we're trying to do. So a really good way of being able to do so is that we can't get too steep, right? Because that's going to cause us to hit it higher on the face. So we want to feel a more in to out path and also lean the hands a little bit forward to de-loft the shot, okay?
Okay.
That's going to cause us to hit it lower on the face, lower the launch angle to be more consistent. And a good drill to do so is to actually tee up the ball kind of similar height to a 3-wood. And this is brilliant because if you get too steep here, you're not going to be able to, you're almost going to hit only the tee, right?
Yeah.
You're almost going to miss the ball.
Chop it out from
Yeah.
underneath.
So the only way to hit it low on the face here and actually try to almost hit a low draw is to be more shallow in the approach and lean the hands a little bit forward, which is what we see from the best players.
Yeah, so this is it sounds like a slight contradiction because I think a lot of people, if you feel like you're sticking your hands miles ahead,
Yeah.
that automatically means you strike down. But if you get your path moving a little bit out to the right, that's actually more of a shallow motion through the ball. So those things combined should give you that ideal launch.
100%, exactly.
It's easy. I mean, I'm one of those. I'm getting into one of those type of players who kind of know what they're talking about. just can't do it.
But this drill will help you to actually do it. So I want to see the lowest low draw shot you can hit from here, okay?
Ball position wise, do you think just center? Just
yes, fairly center. Yeah, you don't have to move it too far back.
So in here, there, hands miles ahead.
Yeah.
Trying to hit that.
Low draw, low on the face. Close.
Just popped up a touch, didn't it? But
yeah, a touch, but that's going to have a lot of spin. Look at the spin on that one.
Jesus, yeah.
9,474.
Launch angle at 30, actually not too bad.
That's perfect. If you can be around 30, that's fantastic.
It just feels very strange, like coming that shallow.
Yeah.
On an actual wedge shot.
And that's the crazy thing about short game, right? Is that you wouldn't want to do this when you chip.
No.
Because then the leading edge would kind of dig. So the way you hit full shots is the shot you want to hit around the greens that go high, kind of floaty, soft shots. So in short game, you have to be able to adapt. So this type of technique is not going to work over there, definitely not going to work in the bunker, right? So you're going to be able to have a big kind of tool case of whatever you like pulling out for different types of shots. So do one more and then we'll try to hit one without a tee, okay?
Okay. Come on, get that massive lead with those hands.
There you go. Nice.
Okay.
Was almost a little bit thin, but it's the right idea.
Yeah, I was definitely trying to get a little bit lower on the face with that one.
Okay.
Still decent spin though.
Yeah. Launch 23 was a little thin, but 7,700 in spin. So let's see if we can have a similar feel off the ground here, okay?
Yes, let's see, Fred.
He's got it.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Okay. Around on there.
Absolutely right. Yep.
Okay. Alignment staying relatively neutral.
Yes, very neutral.
Okay.
Much better. Much better. Look at that.
Bang on line that as well.
Yeah. Okay, so we're up to 30 launch, 8,000 spin. So that drill is going to do wonders for you and for any golfer, right? Because he almost forces you to get into the right kind of sequence and the right swing plane and what you want to do.
Crazy thing for me is the angle of attack there. So angle of attack is the measurement of how much that club is moving down through impact. It was only 5.
Which is
5
good.
degrees. And considering it feels like my hands are here, that's pretty wild.
So it's a common misconception too. Some people might think that like, oh, I need to get to like 0, right? Not hit down. No, you're still going to hit down on the ball. But the path of the club is going to allow you to still hit down and not get the leading edge to dig too much into the ground. So it's still a down angle, but a little bit more of a shallow kind of plane to it.
I was going to say, I suppose with those hands and the shallowness, those hands are going to be pulling that club up and away from impact as well, aren't they? So
you look at really good wedge players, it's funny that you say that. If you look at their head, if you look at bad wedge player, their head kind of moves down, right, into the ground like this. If you look at a really good player, they have a level of kind of extension through the shot. And that comes from kind of pulling the shaft up, right? And getting when you rise up, the club head is kind of going down still. So that helps. So if you're a player that kind of does this, there's no way you can be shallow. So it's a level of kind of standing up. You can imagine if you try to kind of do like a box jump to the left, kind of the motion of kind of extending without jumping is kind of what you want in a wedge shot.
That's something to do in the gym, a box jump. I've heard stories. I've heard stories of them doing that.
There you go. But that's brilliant. Let's see if you can do even better.
Okay. What would you say distance-wise? Or what's the maximum you would kind of do this to?
So it's a great question. You can have a similar technique depending on the shot shape too. So maybe it's only like a 40-yarder, but you can hit that low draw chasing to a back pin potentially. If it's a yardage, maybe like 50 yards, 60 yards. But also you might have a 50-yard shot that you need to launch high and stop quickly, then this technique is not really going to work. And then it comes back to being able to have a lot of different techniques in the short game, right? But let's say for a baseline, 50, 60 yards is where you want to hit more of like a low draw because of the fact that that ball spins at 10,000. It doesn't really matter that it comes out low, right? Because it's going to stop. Yeah, but if it's only 40, 30 yards, you're not going to have enough speed to generate enough spin for the low flight to actually stop straight away.
Cool.
So then you might need a little bit higher launch.
Cool, love it. Right, got one more. I'm going to get this behind the pin. This is going to spin.
If you hit it all the way there, obviously, a little longer, it's going to spin more.
Come on, commit to it. Hands ahead. There, all on that face, shallow through.
not bad. A little bit
A
higher.
little bit high to
Yeah,
it,
a
yeah.
little bit high, but it's all the way there. So
33 launch.
that wasn't your best.
So
You're
just
not
a wee
fixed
bit.
yet. You need to go back to do your drill.
Sorry, my apologies.
That was good though. There you go.
Yeah, good. That's a good start.
Yeah.
It's a good start.